Morning. I'm Reverend Rebecca Allen, and Amani had asked me to speak on oneness in the silence. So that really is an oxymoron, don't you think? For me to talk about silence and interrupt the glorious silence that Clarissa set up for us. But I'm going to do it anyway, because that's what I agreed to do. We're going to talk about silence. So first I want to just share this reading from the Science of Mind textbooks, classwork. It says, when the lips are closed, there is room for the heart to speak. When the heart is silenced, the great inner mystery of the Spirit can blaze up and illuminate life. This is the secret that all mystics know. The keeping of silence as a spiritual practice. Spirit blazes up. So I don't know about you, but when somebody started talking to me about being in the silence, it scared the heck out of me. What is that about? To be afraid, to be silent? But I don't think I'm alone. I don't know what that was. Like I expected some dreadful essence of myself to rise up and take over the world. I don't know. It was scary to me to be silent. It was scary to me to listen to myself. When I went on my first retreat, my kids were little, 5 or 6. So I went on a silent retreat. I braved it. And before that, I was like the drama queen. My body did not know how to relax or be at peace. So I went on this retreat, and I came home, and I was peaceful. And my kids kept saying, Mom, are you all right? What's wrong with you? Mama, are you okay? But I've managed to allow the gifts of silence to rise up and inform my life. And it's not scary in there. Maybe scary out here to you guys, but not for me. There's a story that I really loved. I don't know where I heard it, so I'm not going to attribute it to anybody. It's not mine, but it belongs to somebody else. About these astronomers who went to the Himalayas to study the stars. And they had all of this equipment with them. And they hired Sherpas to take the equipment up the top of the mountain, the Himalayas. And they were in a rush because the star configuration was only limited to a few minutes, a few hours, and they had to get up the mountain. And the Sherpas were being rushed. Hurry, come, we must get up to the top of the mountain. And suddenly, the Sherpas all stopped in unison, and they sat down. And the scientists were like going crazy because they were in a hurry to get to the top of the mountain to see the stars. And they sat, the Sherpas sat, and they sat, and they sat. And nothing that the scientists could say, because there was a language barrier. There was one Sherpa who spoke English. And suddenly, in unison, the Sherpas picked up their load and began the mountain again. The scientist, the head scientist, said, "What was that about?" And the Sherpa said, we were waiting for our souls to catch up. And that is the gift of the silence, for our souls to catch up, for Spirit to speak to us. There's not anything that we have to reach out for. There's not anything that we have to do to get Spirit to speak to us. What we must do is allow Spirit to speak. Not reaching, not stressing, not begging, oh God, please tell me, show me the way, but to be in the silence and to allow that divine wisdom to percolate up, to inform us. Wasn't it Neil Diamond, Donald Walsh that wrote Conversations with God? And he did that by writing down questions and then writing down what came to him. It wasn't a voice speaking from the Most High. It was the answers that were rising up within him in the silence and in the peace. So when we stay in the silence, when we come to the silence and allow that Spirit to move up through us, that's the wisdom. And reminding you that you are all God. Everything that you are is God. You're not all of God, but everything that you are is God. So when you allow that deep wisdom that is within you to rise up, that's the answers that you're seeking. Those are the voices of the divine, right in your very space and in your very place and in the silence. So how do we do that? How do we do that? I have a little trick that I recently learned. Don't remember where it came from. But if you were to sit with a pencil and a piece of paper and set a timer and just watched what moved through your mind with a little crosshatch. Every thought that moves through your mind, I call it the crazy train, you know, that one that I start out thinking, oh, what am I going to do today? And end up hating my next door neighbor from 5 years ago because of something that they had said to me that I'm not even sure what it was. That's the crazy train that we ride, right? But if you were to sit with a timer for 1 minute and make a crosshatch for every crazy thought that plows through your head, sooner or later, if you keep it up, you'll find that the crosshatches get fewer and fewer and fewer. And the crazy train will slow down some, allowing Spirit to rise up and inform you. So what else can we do? We can turn the television off when we're at home. Just saying. And the phone, the telephone, those cell phones that we carry around, they are not in charge of your life. You are not responsible for answering every email, every text, every phone call. You're not. Whoever is calling you, texting you, is asking to be invited. You don't have to respond. So try turning your phone off for a little bit and see what happens. I promise the world won't implode. What else can you do? You can run when you run. You can exercise when you exercise without listening to your iPod, without listening to a book, without listening to music. When you get in your car, you don't have to turn the radio on. In the silence, Spirit speaks. In the silence, Spirit informs. There's some kind of really new, exciting trend happening. It's called monotasking. Monotasking. So multitasking is out. Monotasking is in. So when you eat. When you have a conversation with someone, have a conversation with someone. There's a sad little story I heard about a dad and a little girl, and he's on his phone, and she's talking to him. She's telling him about her school day. She's telling him about the problems that she's having at school. And he's going, And she says to him finally, Daddy, listen to me with your eyes. Being present, allowing the silence to inform your life. Monotask. Ernest Holmes, the founder of our religion, I don't even know what to call it, philosophy, that's the ticket. He says, I have listened to the great silence, and in the deep place of life, I have stood naked and receptive to thy songs, and they have entered my soul. Entered my soul. So when we are silent, when we take a few minutes to just allow Spirit to speak through us and to us, it will inform our souls, and our souls can catch up. So, I'm monotasking. Shall we anchor the silence with prayer? As I just allow myself to acknowledge the truth of who I am. I am one of that is. I am all God. And within me is all of the wisdom of the universe as I allow it to bubble up, to flow up, and to inform my life. In this quiet place, I allow myself to shut off all of the distractions, all of the chaos that reigns within and without. I allow the stillness that is my divine nature, my connection with all that is, to inform my life. I agree to set aside brief moments of time to listen to the guidance, the wisdom, the love, and the peace that percolates up through me as me. I am so grateful for the opportunity to be still. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to step back and allow God, that all-knowing, universal, wise essence, to speak to me, to give me guidance, to give me peace, to give me healing. I'm grateful for the tool of silence. And I allow it to be as I claim it for myself, and I claim it for each one of you. Peace be with you. Namaste.
Namaste.